Hey everybody, welcome back to the Ginyu Farce podcast. This is episode number 10. Today we are covering the Piccolo Junior Saga Part 1. My name is Alex, I'm here with John.
Hi.
And Brendan is joining us today.
Ahoy, how we doing, friends?
Brendan has been a friend of mine for a few years now, and he was saying that he wanted to join us once we got to Piccolo Junior, and that was like months ago.
Yeah. And
it felt like it was so long ago.
Yeah.
That it did. And now we're here. It's the day. So welcome. We're glad you're here. So as always, we are on Linktree. That's where you can find all of our stuff. linktr.ee/thegfp. There you can find where our podcast is. It's like everywhere that you listen. And our Instagram is there too. You'll also find our episode guide. So you can see which episodes we're talking about in what episode of the podcast. So before we get started, we'll do a quick recap of the King Piccolo Saga Part 2. So Piccolo overthrows King Furry and rules as Earth's king. Goku drinks Ultra Divine Water. Piccolo announces Piccolo Day and intends to destroy West City. Tien fails in his attempt to use the evil containment wave against Piccolo. Piccolo destroys Central City. Goku kills Piccolo, and Piccolo Jr. is born. So that's where we left off. The saga aired in August of '88 in Japan and October of 2003 in the U.S. So I think it was like the latest, like the last thing that they released, like before GT. I think.
GT?
Yeah, like they did GT, like I think, like in the next couple of years, like 2004 and 2005. So like this came out after Boo in the U.S.
Interesting.
Which I thought was interesting. It's still the year 753. Goku is still 16. And just moving forward, just to avoid confusion, we have Piccolo now, who we know as Piccolo, but we had King Piccolo before, so for this saga we'll just call him Junior, because that's sort of what they refer to him as in the show, and then once we move forward he'll just be Piccolo, but for now he's Junior. So
not to confuse anybody.
Right, nothing confusing about that at all.
Right.
Yeah. You want to take the first one, John?
I would love to. I also think it's, we focus a lot on the release date in America, but it's fun to see, we started this in, 80?
The
original one. Like, the original episode aired in.
Like 85 or 6 in Japan.
Yeah. But it's fun to see how we're getting to the late 80s, and you can kind of see that reflected into it.
Cool. The animation is definitely better.
Yeah, it's definitely got better. You can tell that the show was successful in Japan.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Toriyama was like pulling in millions before.
Yeah.
It was like serialization of, I think it was like it was whatever the show was.
Dr.
Slump.
Dr. Slump.
Yeah.
Dr. Slump, because we covered it.
Yeah.
Briefly, yeah.
So it's like.
But yeah, he already had a successful. That wasn't a show though, was it?
No, I think it was just.
I don't know.
Manga. But
yeah. Anyways, regardless, he already had money going into this, and Dragon Ball was just another success.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even more so once it hit over here in America. That's when it really just
became a real cultural phenomenon. Actually, I just want to say I've been more active on our social media lately, and I got two things. Number one, people really love Gogeta and Vegito. They really love those characters. Like, half the accounts that I see are like them, and I thought that was really interesting. People love fusions. And two, I read that there's going to be new Dragon Ball Super next year, at least in Japan. So that's cool, because we'll be done with this probably in, I don't know, late. I'm hoping by the time it's out, we'll be like pretty close to done, and then we can just go for it.
Well, I think that depends on if y'all watch like Dragon Ball Z as it came out or Dragon Ball Z Kai.
We're watching Dragon Ball Z Kai.
We are doing Kai.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll be doing Kai, and then we still. Is there any filler in there that we skipped?
There's no filler in
Kai. Okay, so that one's all the way through, but GT has some filler.
Well, GT is filler, so we're gonna.
I'm not looking forward to it.
So we're gonna watch all of that.
And then movies, but yeah, I mean, as long as we skip to our schedule.
Yeah, maybe it'll time out pretty well. We'll see.
It should.
It'll be pretty cool. But anyway, 123, John.
1, 2, 3. Lost and Found is the episode. Goku is healed up by a senzu bean at Korin Tower. Goku searches for the power pole which he needs to reach Kami. So we jump right back in where we left off. No break. Yamcha's still here to save the day. He's ready to go.
He doesn't know what's going on yet.
Yeah. Bulma calls the news station up. And it's like, Piccolo's been killed. And they believe her.
Yeah. You know, they're like, all right, good enough for us.
And then she doesn't tell them who did it. And they're like asking her, like, who did it? Who finished it? Bye. Keep calm. But the gang has the Dragon Ball still, but they're just rocks. So the dragon's dead. As that's happening, Goku goes to Korin Tower. Mm-hmm. Korin doesn't know the dragon's dead.
Which
was interesting.
He seems to know a lot of things.
He seems to know most things, but yeah,
he didn't. It's a pretty big one. He didn't know that.
Apparently, so I wanted to stop and talk about this real quick because Korin says that everyone that died is not gonna be able to pass over, and then gives zero explanation on why that is. Like, it's really weird. It's the only time I think that this happens, except for like maybe in Boo somewhere where he says jumping world. But yeah, so
I don't know if that's filler or if that's real, but like it was weird because he was like, people who are killed by Boo can't go to the other world; they're stuck in limbo.
Or Piccolo. And
killed by Piccolo, and I was like,
they're stuck in limbo for eternity.
It's like the David Lynch meme where it's like, can you elaborate further?
No. Yeah, exactly.
So Korin then suggests asking the creator of the Dragon Balls for help. His name is Kami, and he lives above Korin Tower, which is silly.
This is a new concept.
Yeah, it's something we haven't seen. And Korin then goes like, cool, how do I get there? He's like, alright, you already have everything you need, homie. And he's like, where's your power pole? Well, Goku doesn't have it. Mm-hmm. So then he has to go back to the battlefield to get it. So that he calls his flying Nimbus to go back to the battlefield, which in theory could have just taken him right up to see Kami. But we can't do that. So we go back to the battlefield. Mm-hmm. And we're looking for the power pole, which was originally owned by Korin, who gave it to Roshi, who then gave it to Gohan, who now gave it to Goku.
Which is pretty cool. I didn't... this whole saga is like pretty fuzzy for me. Like I saw it once like a long time ago.
Okay.
So like I did not remember the backstory of that, and I think that's pretty cool that the power pole is like this legendary item that was used to reach God essentially, and it just ended up at his house, at Goku's house, and he just uses it like to shoot rabbits to the moon and stuff.
Yeah, really normal things.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely interesting. So he goes back to the battlefield where obviously everyone's there. He meets the king and a horde of reporters. He doesn't seem very interested in any of them, so he can't find it. And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to go to Baba's house. So then he goes over to Baba's
he's going
house,
all over the place, I forgot.
And then has Baba use her crystal ball to find it, and the whole time it should have been at literally the second place that they would look. Kami house.
Yeah.
Where Launch is using it as a broom.
That was funny, yeah.
Tien, I guess, brought it back from the battlefield, and then Goku heads back up to Korin Tower. Finally, this old couple finds Junior's egg. The egg then hatches, and Junior blows up their house.
I will say, Junior at this point is adorable.
Until he opens his mouth and talks. He has the worst voice there, cross between like Gollum and...
Yeah, he sounds like a gremlin.
Yeah.
But if you just like put the kid on mute,
he's a cute little demon.
I'd like to have him like hanging out in the corner.
He's a cute
Just
demon.
like a little palm size one.
Exactly.
Yeah, you
Like
just take him with you.
Like a Furby.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
like maybe like a.
This reminds me of like Gohan. He was a big.
Yeah.
Gohan was a pretty cute kid.
Sure.
But yeah, the last thing we see in the episode is Junior in his freaking Gollum voice vowing revenge on Goku.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of a funny episode because it's like he's going all over the place to try to get his power pole. Like that's basically the plot of the episode. Like where's the power pole? And when he gets to Kami House, there's like reporters there too, and they're like trying to like ask him. They're trying to ask Bulma and the gang like questions about Goku.
Yeah, which I don't remember if she says what her name is when she calls the cops. But like, I mean, I guess they would have learned once they got to the battlefield. But it's very interesting.
Yeah, Goku's like becoming famous basically, like in the world. He's like people don't really know who he is, but he's like known now.
Except for
as a hero.
Yeah.
Like they have his. They see him. They have his face. They know
yeah,
what he
they
looks
get
like.
his face.
They know what he looks
He's
like.
basically the Walmart yodeling kid.
Yeah, exactly. Except
Exactly.
for, which, I mean, I guess that makes sense because, you know, this next martial arts tournament, nobody recognizes him.
Yeah, nobody recognizes.
Not to give you too much of a spoiler, but yeah, just nobody, like, and not just.
He did have quite the glow up, though.
Okay, but the hair, man, that hair does not change.
No, the hair is iconic.
Canonically, it does not change.
Yeah.
The hair is. He just wakes up and it looks like that.
Long.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah.
So, ready to move on?
Yeah, that's about it for that episode.
Episode 124, Temple Above the Clouds. Goku reaches the lookout and meets Mr. Popo for the first time, and he is no match at all against Mr. Popo. It was this whole like before pre-tournament stuff like feels very like isolated from the rest because of the time skip, but it almost feels like it's more of like in a wrap up for the King Piccolo saga.
Which,
like in my head, it kind of feels like it's part of that saga.
It bridges the gap.
which to be fair, we skip filler in this, and those 5 filler episodes are mostly Goku training. There's one where Piccolo makes like a doll that mirrors Goku's movements. There's one where they go
back in time.
Yeah, Goku goes back in time and is hanging out with like young Roshi and young Master Chen.
Yeah.
And then there's one that focuses on the rest of the gang, I think. And then one more with Goku like winning his training. So like there's like we skip a solid 5 episodes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We do of this thing.
But I get what you're saying. When you watch it the way that we watch it, doesn't feel like we're starting the saga. This feels like we.
This feels like King Piccolo Part 3.
Yeah, King Piccolo 2.5.
Yeah, but it's an interesting episode because we get a lot of like iconic setting with the lookout when he gets there. He takes the power pole and he like puts it into the top of Corrin Tower, and then it like goes way up, and then it connects perfectly into the bottom of the lookout.
I did some really, really nice things for like all this shit that I like, all the ADHD shits. Like,
Yeah. The way it just fits perfectly. Yeah, it was good. And he gets hit by a bunch of lightning on the way up.
Yeah, just for funsies.
Yeah, it's like very much a proto Snake Way sort of.
Yeah.
Oh
sure.
yeah.
Corrin doesn't like to like.
Corrin's a dick.
Corrin doesn't tell Goku everything. Like he doesn't tell him what Kami looks like or anything like that.
He doesn't tell him how many people up there. He doesn't say anything.
Or that he's gonna get hit by lightning. That
Yeah.
would have been nice to know. I mean, I would want to know.
Yeah, I'd be a little bit peeved.
So he finally reaches the top and he meets Mr. Popo. thoughts on Mr. Popo's design as a character?
Well, I'm going to say it as a black man. I had issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple.
It's
Mr. Toriyama, what are you doing?
it's bad.
The worst part is he sticks with it.
And it doesn't change.
No, he hasn't changed it yet. To this day.
Pokemon, they changed James from black to purple.
That's what it reminded me of. Yeah. And that was a good move.
Yeah.
Because that was a very offensive Pokemon.
Yeah.
I will say, though, over the years, Mr. Popo has grown on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the fuck is he, though?
I mean, that would be nice.
That's the thing. We don't really know. Like, he's like he feels like a genie to me.
He does feel like a genie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what he is.
Which almost makes it worse.
Yeah. I just wish he didn't look the way that he looked. It's really too bad.
Yeah.
But I also thought, when you watch Dragon Ball Z and you get the whole, like, series, and
He is a genie.
He is? Oh, there you go. When you...
Who serves as the assistant to Earth's guardian and deity and caretaker of the residents.
Okay.
Apparently. Who knows?
Oh, there you go. When you think of Mr. Popo, like, you don't think of him as, like, a fighter. Like, you don't think of him as even fighting at all,
Exactly.
ever. He's just a mentor guy who helps out sometimes. And, like, he's just kicking Goku's ass, which kind of took me off guard. And I thought it was pretty interesting that he's, like, as of right now, he's, like, the strongest character that we've ever seen in the show. Like, Mr. Popo is he is the bar now.
Yeah.
Mr. Popo is the strongest character we have yet.
I still wonder where he, like in current DB, like Dragon Ball rankings, like where is Mr. Popo?
Where does he...
In the echelons of the warriors in the universe.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that, John? Any thoughts on Mr. Popo's fighting?
You gotta put down a certain time slot then. Because the powers in Dragon Ball are very fluid. So, at a certain time, like specifically right now, in this time, Mr. Popo's bars.
Yeah.
But we fast forward in Dragon Ball Z and the Frieza Saga.
There's, like, some exponential growth.
Yeah.
But, like, what did you think about him, like, fighting Goku?
It's cool. I won't lie. It's not my favorite because it seems like we've almost done this before.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of seems like Corn 2.0.
Kind of.
A little bit, but obviously it's a little more intense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it doesn't, like, I don't know. It's just another way for Goku to train at this point. I mean, how many different things did we see? We've been to the Turtle Hermit School. We've been to Corrin's place. Now we're about doing Mr. Popo's way.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have a battle. It's how interesting can it possibly get at this point?
Right. And Mr. Popo will not let Goku meet Kami until he can beat him in a fight.
I do want to bring up the silliest thing that happens in this entire fucking episode is Mr. Popo eating a Kamehameha.
Oh, yeah.
That was funny.
That was funny.
Because Goku's getting pissed.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Popo doesn't look at him. It's very disrespectful. The way
Mr.
Popo fights him. He's like walking away. He's like, go home, Goku. And he's attacking him from behind.
And he's just like, dodging him like it's no problem. Like he doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
And
so when Goku fires the Kamehameha, he like burps after it. And it's just so goofy. He's like, go home, Goku.
Yeah.
And obviously Goku won't.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
So, he can't meet Kami until he defeats Mr. Popo, which seems like it's going to be pretty difficult for him. Meanwhile, back at the Kami house, Launch is patching up Tien, which I'm sure is great for her because she's got a big crush on him.
The romance that is Launch and Tien is the biggest loss of Dragon Ball Z.
I am sad that it's gonna just disappear.
You're just starting to get attached. To that relationship, and you're like, shit. Launch has a sweet side.
Yeah, and you start to like like blonde launch as a character too, because like at first
She's
She's
not
just
as
like-
off the rails anymore.
No,
She's
no.
way more scaled down.
she's calmed
It's
down.
more interesting to watch for sure.
Yeah,
Well, it's not as predictable when Blonde, like, you know, there was so much when Blonde launched coming, like, okay, she's gonna shoot everyone around her, and then like they're gonna freak out.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like
yeah.
he like took that relationship and then applied it to like 18 and Krillin.
yeah,
It's
And
very
I think
similar
that's where all
style.
that energy
it
went
is
to.
similar.
Most
Yeah,
definitely, yeah.
but I think blonde launch is becoming more likable because when they flip back and forth, the one doesn't remember what happened with the other.
Mhm.
So like when blonde launch first shows up after like a sneeze, she's like a cornered animal basically. She doesn't know who these people are, and she's very like aggressive. But slowly, like when she flips, she's like, "Oh, I know who these guys are." Like she starts to chill out a little bit.
Mhm.
She becomes more comfortable.
Most definitely.
But she patches him up, and then King Furry's on the TV, and he wants to give Goku a blue star medal, which is the highest honor in the world, according to I think Bulma.
And that's cool.
And
Goku doesn't care.
This is where, Goku doesn't give a shit. But this is where the reporters swarm.
Yes.
Not the last episode. It happens in this episode, and they want to find Goku, and Oolong turns into Goku, so that he can get some of the spotlight. But he has like a pig.
Yeah,
face,
it's not
I
good.
think.
It's not a good transformation.
Yeah.
I don't know why he can't.
I think that's his thing. He just like I think the story is he never
finished school. He
graduated
got kicked
or-
out.
Yeah, he didn't get
Which
he
is
didn't
why,
pass shape shifting school.
Fucking what's the
Poir.
cat?
Poir.
Poir. That's why Poir can do it just fine.
Yeah,
It's like-
Yeah, but even Poir, like for some reason, has problems transforming into Goku. We've seen it like once.
Yeah, when he does it in the RV
And
to
then
get the Dragon Balls, he like still has like just dots for a face, for eyes.
Yeah,
Like he looks.
and then like one time, one transforms into Goku and one transforms into Bulma, and neither one of them look right.
Yeah. Bulma was like short and stuff, but it's
Very
part
goofy.
of the humor.
Yes, definitely.
So then I think at the end of the episode we see Junior again, and
This is goofy.
he's like watching a kid have a birthday party for some reason. He's just like staring in their window, and he's like blowing out candles. This kid.
And then he like makes a noise outside, and
Yeah.
sneaks into their house and like trashes their house, and
Yeah.
then you have in here hurts their dog.
Yeah, the dog like chases
Yeah.
him in the
Oh,
woods, and then
yeah.
he like kicks the dog or hits it with a laser
I
or
think he,
something.
Like, shoots like a key blast at it.
Yeah.
It's like,
It,
That's freaking wild.
I was just like, "What are you doing, man?" But then at this point, he does learn that he can do ki, because like you can tell he's like
Yeah,
looking
he
at
looks
his
at his
I
hands.
just imagine him like doing like the whole like Hannibal Buress and Eric Andre show. Where
Yeah.
He's just like staring at his hands. And he's just
Yeah, because he like doesn't know. He didn't know
Yeah.
until that point. So, that's pretty much where we leave off, I think.
Yeah.
You want to do this one, Brennan? 125.
Yeah. So Earth's guardian emerges. Goku meets Kami for the first time and believes him to be King Piccolo, which is understandable because they are technically the same person.
Yeah. I would have probably felt the same.
Didn't just kill you.
So Goku says he thinks Mr. Popo is the strongest fighter in the universe, which I just love. That's like something that has been thought of by a character in this show. I just think that's awesome. Goku says he's gonna like stay on the lookout to train, and Mr. Popo's like,
Whatever.
I guess that's fine. And he says he's gonna help him out a bit, so he tries to teach Goku how to meditate. And
Goku's
he's-
still an idiot. And it
he's
makes
having
his
a hard
fucking
time.
Eyes go blurry.
He's
Yeah.
having a hard time meditating. Yeah, he's like, what's the point of this? It's not. He can't like focus. Which I mean,
Which I get.
meditation is hard.
Yeah.
Like I do it sometimes, and it is hard.
Light some insights, put on dark side of the moon. Just chill out.
Yeah.
Drop a sheet of acid. There you go. Me God.
It's just Roger Waters. Incredibly small.
So Mr. Popo says
he's talking about how strong Kami is, and he says that he is a mouse compared to Kami, which I thought was kind of interesting. So, you know, you have Mr. Popo, the strongest fighter in the universe, and now you have Kami, who's somehow Mr. Popo's a mouse compared to him.
Yeah, and the whole time I'm sitting there wondering, like, why
didn't you guys
do that?
Why didn't you guys do something?
Yeah, and
which like they have this thing. I think Mr. Popo says like it's not our job to like interfere or whatever. But then like we learn that Kami like
interferes,
feels guilt for like what he did.
I also like don't think he can like. I might be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure like Kami can't like physically leave the lookout.
Oh, I don't
He
know.
can.
Oh,
Yeah.
can he?
Yeah, you can.
I don't know if I've seen him leave. When did we see him leave?
He comes down in Dragon Ball Z right before Cell comes around
Does he?
and talks to Piccolo about fusing with him.
Oh, I thought that was on the lookout.
No,
Mm.
they talk about it on the lookout too, but he also comes down to Earth at one
Mm.
point. Yeah, because I know I've seen him down on Earth once or twice.
Hmm. Well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe he decided at that point later that he was going to do that.
I think it's a combination of two things.
Mhm.
I think it's a combination of the fact that he knows that if he goes down and kills Piccolo, then he also dies.
True.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's
Fair
a fair assumption that you know, like, okay,
That's a hard thing to struggle with.
like if I die, there's no guardian of the Earth, and so that I think was a big part of it. And then the second part was what you said, is that when you become the Earth's guardian, you're not in charge of policing the Earth,
Right.
just guarding it.
Mhm.
So I think we never really go into like what an Earth Guardian's job really is, but if you think about it as a whole, and from the perspective of God,
Right. Right.
then
That's part of the thing.
then that would be part of the thing.
People
Yeah.
say that, yeah, God doesn't, like, interfere. He just watches.
Exactly.
So it's kind of similar.
So I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess. I'll allow it.
Yeah.
So Kami sees this happening with Goku training and stuff, and he, like, wants... Because you, like, see him from, like, I think, like, the top of the... his house, like, in a window. He's, like, staring out at them. You can see that he's watching.
Yeah.
And he wants to meet Goku, basically. So he's like, Goku doesn't have to beat Mr. Popo in a fight anymore. I'll just meet him. And then he steps out, and he looks exactly like old Piccolo. So Goku freaks out. He thinks this whole thing has been a setup, and he charges at him. And then Kami just, like, lifts a finger, and the Goku just, like, flies back.
He like flicks the air.
Yeah.
Pretty dope.
It was pretty cool. And then we learn a lot of like lore about Kami and Piccolo and his origin. We learn that Kami and King Piccolo were once one person, and he wanted to be the Earth's guardian, but whoever was the guardian before him said that he had some intentions that were not pure. So he trained until he could separate himself into two people, one good, one bad. So the good part became the guardian, and the bad part became King Piccolo. And we can assume that's maybe where his world domination from way back with Mutai Ito came into play. So I thought that was a lot. It was a lot,
Yeah.
but it was cool. I like that stuff when you
No,
learn
it's
like
definitely-
background and history.
Definitely necessary to help move the story along. And then, just to piggyback off that, he also agrees to remake the dragon.
Yes, he does.
So, but his condition, which his condition changes. So the first time he says it, it's, I will do this, but you have to stay here as long as I say and train.
Mhm.
And Goku's like, oh, whatever. And
He was
so,
a guy was like, I was gonna do that anyway.
so yeah, that's basically what he says. I was going to do that anyways. So then they bring the dragon back,
Mhm.
and then he ends up asking to leave to go see his friends get revived.
Right.
And that's when he goes, have you already forgotten your promise? You're going to stay here
Mhm.
and train for 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, it changes, but
Yeah.
So that's the trade-off, which isn't much of a trade-off because that's what Goku wanted to do.
Anyway, but I like the way that the dragon's prepared. Like Mr. Popo pulls out like a bottle of Elmer's glue and starts like he has like a statue of the dragon. He like starts gluing it back together.
Classic Toriyama, just like silly.
Yeah, just weird.
Yeah.
But he does bring the dragon back, or he says he will.
Yeah,
I don't know if he did it yet. But he's like, and then at the end of the episode, they flash all of the people that are going to be revived. It's like Krillin, Master Roshi, Chaozu, Nam. And I'm like, Nam?
Weird one to throw in there.
I thought we were past this.
Dude, every time you think we're living in a post-Nam society, they suck us right back in.
They do, yeah. Freaking Nam.
I also want to throw out that they do a little, they're checking in with everybody throughout the episode.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like Tien and maybe Yamcha, but Tien is like thinking there and he's like has a little monologue or maybe not. I can't believe how much stronger Goku's gotten. That means I'm going to have to train just as hard the next 3 years. If he can do that, think of what a true martial arts master can do. And it's like, that's the second time now that you called yourself a martial arts master. I'm like, I'm starting to think maybe it's a little too self-appointed.
Yeah.
Like, maybe we need to chill, and maybe we take a step back.
It up. Maybe he's like trying to convince himself.
The other
he's probably feeling very defeated from this whole life.
And the other thing I was gonna say is that we also are still very, very close to the World Martial Arts Tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So he is still the World Martial Arts champion.
He is he's the defending champion.
Yeah, a lot of stuff has happened since then, but it's still pretty.
So he's training. He's ready for a rematch.
He's going.
We catch back up with Junior, who is in the woods this time,
murdering bears.
I think. Yeah. Murder Junior, the bear murderer.
The bear murderer.
So he's there's a pair of soldiers who are investigating for some reason.
Silly.
They're like, yeah, okay, we're gonna go.
I thought of them as park rangers or something.
Yeah, there's some, but they have guns for some reason. They're like, we're gonna check this out, and then they follow the footprints and they find Junior, and then they see him and they just see him and they take off. I think.
No. They see him and they think he's a normal fucking kid. They come up to him and they're like, "What's wrong? Are you okay? Where are your parents?" And he just ignores them, and then bends one of their guns or something.
Yeah.
And he grabs one of their guns and the guy's like, "Don't touch that." Just bend it to a 90-degree angle, so they freak out.
And then they just leave.
Yeah.
So that's our catch up with Junior. I just want to add that. So if Kami knows that Junior's going to be at the tournament, why not spend 3 years and find him, track him down?
Yeah, that would be a smarter idea. But we all know that Goku never goes for that type of thing. He always wants his opponents to be as strong as possible.
And then we wouldn't get
that sweet, juicy martial arts remake.
Yeah, we wouldn't get plot. So, that's it, I guess. So, that brings us to 126. You want to take that one, John?
Yeah. And this is a real Piccolo Saga wrap-up here.
It is, yes.
The Eternal Dragon resurrected. Kami resurrects Shenron. All those killed by King Piccolo and his spawn, including Master Roshi, Krillin, Chaozu, are all brought back to life. And Nam. Goku begins his 3 years of training to prepare for the next World Martial Arts Tournament, where he is told Junior will compete.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good episode. It's a solid wrap-up episode.
Yeah.
I think for everything that we're going to do and ushering us into a new thing. We get the stakes for the next tournament.
Mm-hmm.
We get to, see a great little, huzzah, we still win when everyone gets brought back to life.
Mm-hmm.
You get a flashback of all the people that we saw, Wolfman. They even do,
Man-Wolf.
Man-Wolf,
Yeah.
the fucking dinosaur,
Gearin.
the stinky dude.
Tyrion.
There you go.
The stinky dude.
Yeah.
We get to see all those characters come back.
That's pretty much what this episode is.
Yeah. I mean, we also Kami explains that he created Dragon Balls to like bring hope and like adventure to the world, but humans, being humans, we're using it for greedy, for bad reasons. So that's why he was like, I'm not gonna bring the dragon back. But Goku changed his mind.
So Kami brings the dragon back.
Yeah, and this is where we officially learn that Junior will be at the tournament as well.
Yeah, this is where Kami gives him like the entire lowdown. Like, listen, Goku, Piccolo's still alive. 3 years from now, you do the trainee, kick some booty.
You're gonna fight him in the tournament.
Yep.
So everyone. Oh, you know what? Yamcha has a great moment in this episode because they're gonna bring. They see the Dragon Balls come back. They were stones, and then they're like, "Oh, the Dragon Balls are back." So they are gonna wish for their friends to come back, and Yamcha's like, "Why not wish for everyone to come back?"
Oh, it's cool, like King Piccolo.
And I was like, "Wow, Yamcha, that was a really good idea."
Yeah.
And that's probably his single biggest contribution to this entire series. Is that he did that.
Yeah, honestly.
So does, they don't do this, but I was wondering, like, does that, like, bring back everyone from, like, hundreds of years ago, too? Like, does it, they don't, because they don't specify.
It seems to be that this dragon is kind of like the anti-monkey's paw.
Right.
Where monkey's paw, you have to be super specific with your wish, or else something bad will happen. It seems like the dragon kind of gives you like
some reasonable,
rounded, best
which
case
makes
scenario.
sense. If this guy was created to be like, here's a fun thing for like all my Earth kids to do.
Yeah.
It's like it'd be nice. If
I like
it
that.
wasn't a dick.
Use some common sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I get it. You're just talking about the folks.
Yeah, I think that it's reasonable.
He uses context.
And we see that a couple of times.
Yeah.
Like, you'll see it a couple of times in the future when they wish people back to life. My question is that, like, what if you were killed by the Saiyans when the Saiyans got in, but you were also killed by Piccolo?
Yeah, true, because you can't, well, we learn
back twice.
We'll learn that later, but yeah. So Roshi also tells everyone who Kami is, and so everyone's like, great, so Goku gets the best training in the whole world again, and he's already
literal god.
and he's already the strongest guy. This is great. Well, they're excited, but they're also a little bit like, freaking Goku.
Yeah, okay, it's like...
Yeah, wait till they find he's a superpowered alien boy.
Yeah, and we also see some dynamic between Yajirobe and Korn in this episode, which I like. They have a good back and forth.
Yeah, Yajirobe's stealing senzu beans and then calls Korn stingy, I think.
Yeah.
He gets caught stealing and he's like, well, you're stingy.
Yeah. And then we flash back to Junior again, because we have to see him in every episode. And he's walking on the ocean.
Yeah, he does that.
And he just sinks a boat because he feels like it, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much that. He's, just in case you were wondering, has not changed.
Yeah.
Since the last episode.
Speaking of changes, though.
Yeah.
Let's roll into 133.
Let's do it.
Title changes.
Mm-hmm.
After 3 years, everyone reunites for the 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament. Goku and Junior come face to face for the first time.
Yes.
The year is 1956. Goku is now 19.
Yes. And the year is 756, not 1956.
No, I think it's 1956.
We're in the American 1950s now.
Yes.
800 years goes by.
Yes. So it's been 3 years. Goku is now 19. So, and he's a bit of a late bloomer, as we learn. Everyone is reuniting, and we have a similar kind of thing to the last arc where where Goku's almost late, and now it's everybody else is almost late, and we meet adult Goku. He grabs a balloon for a kid.
He grabs a new voice for himself.
He grabs a new voice. Yeah, he's got his iconic voice now. voiced by, what's his name? Christopher or something?
You say Sean, I'm gonna fight you.
No, the voice actor.
I can't remember his name.
But yeah, we get the iconic voice. Nobody recognizes him because he's got like a turban on.
Yeah, he's got a turban.
Because it's raining. And then he takes it off, and they're all like, "What?" Because that's quite a growth spurt. He
like doubled in size.
Yeah, he has grown a lot.
So nobody recognizes him. We go through the whole game. It's a very drawn out process. Like everyone's like, "Do you know who he is? No. Do you? No. Do you? No." Like, fucking shut up. And so finally he's like, "Oh, maybe it's this thing on my head," and everyone's like, "Oh, that hair."
The hair.
And so then they're like, "Okay, where's everyone else?" And then like very last second. I mean, when I say last second, they're like, the guy's like yawning. He's like, "Oh, it's now closed." And then they all show up.
And then we get like 3 flashes of and everybody's there.
Yep. And then Yamcha shows up with a ponytail.
And a good leg.
There we go.
He's walking again, folks.
Krillin's grown.
Mm-hmm.
He also has a new voice.
Yep, he's got his voice now that we recognize.
This is one of my favorite moments in Dragon Ball when Goku and Krillin get to come back. And, and like they get you get the thank you and it's just
Krillin says thanks, and then I was like, oh yeah, he never got to talk to him.
Forget.
Yeah, because he's resurrected, and he still hasn't seen Goku since the last tournament.
Yeah.
Like, the last thing he remembers is that
going back to get Goku's Dragon Ball.
Yeah, and it's powerful. Yeah. So, that's a great reunion. And we learned that Roshi's not going to participate in this tournament.
TNS. And he also gets everyone hotel rooms, too. Roshi gets everyone hotel rooms. And we also see that Goku's tail is gone.
Yes.
And I liked the explanation. It was turns out the moon could be restored. My tail went away, so I got rid of it.
Yeah. So Kami was like, I don't want to bring the moon back because you could turn into a giant ape again. So if we remove it, then...
Did they ever discuss the ramifications of the moon being destroyed?
A bit. We see, like,
Man-Wolf.
We see Man-Wolf fighting Jackie Chun, and his, like, whole thing about why he's so mad at him is because he can't turn back into a human because he needs a
I'm talking more of, like,
tides and stuff.
Oh, no.
Actual environmental implications of no longer having a moon.
No, not at all.
No. Kami fixed it, right?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Plot armor. So Roshi's not going to participate, he's passing the torch, and we see Junior again, and he's like the Piccolo that we know now. Basically, he's a little. He looks a little younger. I mean, they all do. They all look a little younger.
The face is definitely more thin.
Yeah,
very thin face, and I think it's fun that the first time we see him, first time we really see him is him saving a mom and a kid from the clock tower falling down in the rain.
Yeah, I think maybe it was like it was gonna land on him, so he like moved it, and it also moved to what was happening to them.
I don't think so. I thought he flew down.
Yeah.
You think he was just being nice?
I think that is like Akira Toriyama telegraphing that there is some good Piccolo. He's like, sure, he does like a dick thing. I don't know what
and
he steps on the kid's puzzle or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, he does a lot of dick moves, but like he doesn't kill the family.
True.
Like he kills the one old couple, I think, but like he's not like murdering everyone he comes across. He's not like Piccolo.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that's what we're doing here is just showcasing the slight differences between them. They might look the same, but they are not the same.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yamcha's got a ponytail. Did you mention that?
Oh, yeah, I thought it was funny because Bulma was like, oh my god, look at this ponytail. Like, I love it.
Look at my guy.
Well, I never got that many compliments on mine, so.
Yeah. You didn't get any from me.
No.
Yeah, because Bulma hasn't seen Yamcha in 3 years either, I don't think, and she, like, mentions that she's mad about it.
Yeah,
I
don't know if it's quite 3 years, but yeah, it's been a minute.
A long time.
Yeah.
And, that brings us to 134. You want to take this one, Brad?
Yeah. Preliminary peril. Goku reunites with Chi-Chi, but does not recognize her. Dick move. Goku defeats King Choppa again in the preliminaries. Chaozu is beaten by mercenary Tao, who has now returned as a cyborg.
God, talk about throwback Thursday in an episode.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
yeah. We get a lot of old characters. We get Chi-Chi, who we don't know that it's Chi-Chi yet, I guess. Even though we do, because it looks like Chi-Chi.
Yeah.
But if you're seeing it for the first time, you're like, oh, okay, and you don't know what's coming up afterwards. You wouldn't recognize her. Yajirobe, King Choppa, and Tao are all in this episode. So, what'd you think of this one?
That was fine.
Yeah.
I think, I'm not a Chaozu stan,
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah.
Like, people said that Yamcha's the most useless character in the series. It's definitely Chaozu.
Honestly,
Like-
you're probably not wrong.
Like, he's done nothing.
Okay, here's my justification against it, though.
Yeah.
At least Chaozu was useful enough to put all of them in separate divisions so we could have the 8
Sure.
that we actually did have. And also, he
Sure.
did that last tournament, too. So just in my book, that automatically puts him like above Yamcha.
Sure.
I would agree with you, I think, Bren, because even though Chaozu does help with that, with like his telekinetic powers or whatever, he's just...
Chaozu's purpose is to die and then have Tien get
mad.
real
Yeah.
mad.
Yeah, it's just to
It's
get
like-
Tien going.
Yeah, and this is definitely where you see Chaozu fall out of rank with the others. And Torion makes a point by not getting him into the finals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this is also the last tournament that Chaozu competes in.
I think so. And I'll add that even though Yamcha is not strong in the show, like, you can, like, empathize with his character a bit.
Yeah.
Like, I touched on it in a previous episode, but, like, he's, like, the most, like, human. Like, as a watcher, he's relatable because he's just, like, some guy who just, like, fell into the right place at the right time. He doesn't have any, like, supernatural abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And he's at least good, like, comic relief. But Chaozu, like, it's just not a very likable character. Doesn't really have any progression.
That's fair.
He's literally
that's fair.
an inverse Mr. Bobo.
Yeah.
He's like everything Mr. Bobo isn't.
Yeah. You, like,
That's fair.
can't... There's no character development. There's nothing, because he doesn't really talk. It's just, like, he's just kind of there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't really care for him either.
Yeah.
That much.
He might as well stay dead because he already looks like he does.
Anyways, getting into it, we see that Tien sees Junior.
Yeah.
Tien sees Junior, and thinks it's like a henchman. And
Yeah.
then Goku doesn't tell anybody about Junior.
What's going on,
Yeah, he doesn't tell anybody. He just, like, looks super serious. And Krillin and Yamcha don't recognize Junior at all. Krillin, that's fair.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't there.
And also Yamcha, that's fair. I don't think Yamcha saw King Piccolo.
He saw him on TV, though.
Okay, that's fair.
And Tien saw him face to face. You would think
Yeah,
he would have recognized
But
him.
they all like saw him. Like they all know that. Like Senior is dead. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
they have no way. Like it.
True.
Like because like all the other dudes that he spawned were like green dudes. you
Yeah.
know? So like it would make sense. That
That's
they're like,
fair.
Oh, this is just like a remnant.
That's
yeah,
fair.
yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yajirobe shows up. They do make a point to let you know there's only 72, which I think is almost half.
Yeah.
what we
last
had
one.
in the last tournament. So
Yeah.
they definitely, and they touch on it a smidge because of like tragedy and.
Well,
something
The last
else.
tournament was just so wild. Like, you saw, like, those fights with, like, Jackie Chan and Tien and, like, people... I wouldn't want to fight those
Yeah,
guys.
fair.
Like the whole... Literally, the arena blew up in the last one.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of a deterrent, I think.
Yep. And then the ref says no killing allowed, which we have to be careful about at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Goku King Chop fight. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just a repeat of round one.
A repeat from the last tournament?
Mhm.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty interesting. And he's like, I like that he's just like a recurring character. Like, we've seen him several times now. And we know that he was the champion before the show started. And he won without being touched.
Yeah.
So, like, he's like
How have the mighty have fallen?
supposed to be a super strong dude. And I like that they like keep bringing him back, but yeah, obviously he thinks he can win, and he says he's got some new techniques or whatever. But
well, Goku one-shots him.
Yeah, Goku one-shots him.
And then this is where we see that pretty much everyone advances from the gang except for Chaozu, who gets knocked out by Tao.
Yeah,
who is now a cyborg.
Yeah.
cool.
So,
It was a cool reveal. I thought I was not. I mean, I knew he was going to be in this. But, like, the way that they, like, bring him back is pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
And he's, like, got, like, his eyes are, like lenses.
Yeah.
And, like...
telescopic.
Yeah. His hands are, like,
And
metal.
Just... I think of that as, like, proto-freezer.
Yeah. That's what I think of, too, yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, we're just bringing back as a robot.
Yeah.
I
I thought it was cool. Because he was so menacing in the first... You know, he was, like, the first, like...
Real,
like, scary antagonist. And he kicked Goku's ass.
I also have to point out that there's one like part where they're scanning the room and there's a guy and he's like talking to some random dude. He's like, "Did you guys get your t-shirts embroidered? It's only 5 zeni." And one guy responding goes, "I never wear shirts that chafe my skin." And it makes me giggle. He said it just like that too. It's so funny. That's it. That's all I have.
Yeah. It reminded me of Randy from Trailer Park Boys. He won't wear a shirt because he gets a rash.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, 135 is Battle of the Eight. Yajirobe is defeated by Hero in the preliminaries. The final 8 proceed to the final matches and draw their lots to decide the upcoming battles.
Mm-hmm.
So we meet Hero for the first time and then Shen.
Yep.
And yeah, this is a pretty fun one too.
Yeah, I'm very much enjoying this whole, like, era right now. Like,
This is the best World Martial Arts tournament by far.
This, like, whole thing, we're getting all these characters back. Characters have grown up. We're seeing people from the past. There's, like, people that are leaving in stretchers. We just, like, see them, like, get another ambulance.
Yeah.
And it's because of Piccolo and Tao. They're, like...
Yeah. Just, like, murdering.
They're hitting a little too hard.
Yeah, everyone's not having a great time.
Like Tian did in the last one.
Yep.
So Bowman launched Leave with Chaozu, because Chaozu leaves in an ambulance.
Yeah.
No carpet ride for him.
No.
Like Yamcha got.
Then we do a little blip it of everyone doing well, including Yajirobe. Everyone's advancing.
Mm-hmm. Chi-Chi as well.
Yeah. Anonymous.
Anonymous, yeah.
Um.
The reveal, the intro for Hero. So funny.
Oh yeah. This is just. I mean, you said it earlier, but this is just peak Toriyama.
Yeah.
Oh, that is literally Akira Toriyama.
Yeah.
Like, Hero is like, he just like wanted to insert himself
Mm.
into his own
Yeah.
shit.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Honestly, I think what he should have done with that, just because he disrespected my boy Yajirobe.
Mm-hmm.
I love Yajirobe.
Me too.
He should have had Yamcha get obliterated first round
Mm-hmm.
by Hero, and then it should have been Yajirobe making it all the way, the two of them. I think that would have made for a better story.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yajirobe hasn't been established as a solid enough character yet for him to be able to make it to the finals.
Well, I think that could have been it, though. That would have been.
it was sad to see Yajirobe go, I
Yeah.
thought, but...
Keep in mind, I don't want to, like, shit all over you, but we have to keep in mind that we're slowly wrapping things up.
That is true.
So, like, all of the, like, yeah, it would have been great to see us expand on Yajirobe's timeline, but we're down to 20 episodes.
That's true.
And then we go into Kai.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it would have been really hard to give Yajirobe his own storyline at this point, knowing there's that little time left. So, I think that probably at this point, Akira Toriyama is, and you'll see it in the upcoming episodes, you'll start to see some more flashbacks. And you'll start to see them reminiscing and tying some stuff together as we start to link up and go down to the end.
Yeah, but I didn't put together that Hero was Toriyama. That makes sense because like he looks like him.
Yeah, I actually didn't put that together either. That's really funny.
Yeah.
And like his entrance is hilarious because he's like coming out of the bathroom.
Yeah,
'Cause he's,
and they won't let him in.
yeah, they won't let him in because he doesn't look like a fighter. And then his zipper's down, and like everybody's laughing at him, and he's like, it looks like he wins just by pure luck. Because what does he do? He headbutts.
He like trips or something, and then like he like gets up and like bashes Yajirobe in the head or something.
Yeah,
like that.
something like that.
And Yajirobe says something. He's like, nobody's that clumsy.
Yeah.
He thinks something's up with this
Yeah,
guy.
Yajirobe knows something.
He's on to him. And then we meet the announcer, one of my favorite characters in the whole show. We get the announcer back, and he's got a mustache now.
Yeah.
And
The iconic mustache.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but is it iconic?
It stays around for the rest.
Does it?
For all
Okay.
Z.
All right. Yeah. Fair enough. He freaks out when he sees Krillin,
Yeah, it goes like straight blue. That was
which
funny.
I thought was cool because like he saw Krillin die,
Yeah.
right? So he's like, what the heck? But you would think that if everyone killed by Piccolo is brought back, that's like a lot of people.
Yeah, but I mean, across the globe, like it's not like we all communicated to find out exactly who was dead. The
But you
announcer just like saw Krillin die.
Yeah, but you would think that would be they would kind of be desensitized to the fact that dead people are coming back to life.
It's
Yeah.
there.
Just because it happened like to so many people. Like it would be like if like, you know, there was a tragedy here and like a bunch of people died and then they somehow came back to life and then you learn later that someone else came back, you'd be like, okay.
Oh
I
yeah,
guess.
this is the thing that happens.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I guess it might still be a shock if like you like. witnessed
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
it would
that's
still
what I
it would
was thinking.
see
Like, he
for years.
watched.
Oh wait, shit! No, yeah, that's like.
for a moment you would
Yeah.
panic. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. So we learn that the way the bracket's set up, Tao is going to fight Tien, Goku's going to fight Anonymous, Junior's going to fight Krillin, and Hero is going to fight Yamcha. And Chaozu's going to fight nobody because he's at the hospital. But he's going to make it, we learn.
Whatever.
And then Shen comes back, and I just hate Shen. I mean, he's like fine, I guess, as a character, but like he's just such a douchebag.
It's just the same thing. Like all he
He's-
does is come in, talk shit, and lose.
And he's
So,
got
like,
that shit-eating grin all the time, and he's like, he reminds me of like Dr. Robotnik from Sonic.
Yeah.
Like he's just like
Yeah.
snickering and being evil.
Stupid.
But he's talking about he talks about Tao and is like talking shit. He's like Tao has increased strength and blah 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 whatever. We'll see. We'll see in the next episode how that works out.
Mm-hmm.
We also see Launch doing her signature crowd control
Mm-hmm.
and getting the gang a good seat. And then Goku tries to give the gang some sensu beans, and they all call him out. And they're like, "That's a sensu bean." And
Yeah,
all,
they already have
Oh,
them.
they're out, and then like we all climb Korin Tower.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, we're seeing the bar get higher, so everyone has that.
So we
Korin Tower
learn that
now.
the gang climbed Korin Tower together, met Korin and Yajirobe. I don't know if they got the water, but I don't know.
They did.
They probably didn't. They probably would have touched on it. But then after that, they all went their separate ways to train on their own,
Yes.
like Goku did, before the last tournament.
Yeah.
And then Tien and Tao walk into the ring, and that's the end of that one.
Yeah.
136 is called Tien Shinhan vs. Mercenary Tao, and Tien defeats him. That's the end of the match. Goku's very confident that Tien will win. We get a flashback of Tien as like an adolescent when he's training with Tao, and well, I hesitate to call it training. He's just sort of like wailing on him, like for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like I was actually expecting it to be like a pretty like fair fight, and I thought it was going to be like, you know, pretty even, but it is not.
No, Tien is way out of this guy's league.
Yeah, Tao can't do a thing to him. He
Yeah.
cannot even land a hit, and he grabs Tao like by the back of his arm and kind of twists it up his back.
Yeah, and then he's trying to walk him.
He's trying
out
to
of
walk
the
him
ring
off the
because
ring.
he doesn't want to fight him.
Yeah, he doesn't want to fight
He
him.
doesn't want to embarrass him, I think is what he says. But
He like gets out of it somehow, and he
disconnects his arm.
yeah. he disconnects his arm, and he jumps back, and then a blade comes out of his like his wrist, and he's disqualified at that point.
But he gets a slash in on Tien, and just to throw it out there, that slash, that scar mark, stays with him.
Oh, does it?
Yep, that scar mark is in the rest of Dragon Ball Z. I don't know if it's exactly that, but it's damn close. I don't know if you can back me up on that or not, but we'll see once we get into.
We'll see it again.
I mean, in the next
that's cool.
2 months when we get into the Saiyan Saga, we can check to see. Because I'm pretty sure that scar, that diagonal scar break here on his chest is there. So that was cool.
Yeah,
so that was
cool. Yeah, that is cool. And Toriyama likes to like keep things like things change and they stay changed. Mm-hmm. He likes to do that. Like the tournament, like the arena will like get beat up and it'll stay beat up.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and then they'll show them replacing the tiles.
Yeah. So he's disqualified at that point because you can't have a weapon. But he didn't care. He was just there to kill Tien. And so at this point, Tien has won, but like there's like a standoff. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was pretty awesome. He like goes to stab Tien, and Tien just grabs the knife.
Yeah, like with like the blade on his fingies.
Yeah,
and stuff.
And then he's like, "I hope you didn't pay much for this toothpick," and he snaps it in half. And I was like,
pretty god tier.
"Oh
I do
man,
miss, like,
that was gangster."
Tien, like just like
yeah,
you only get it in short spurts.
Yeah, that was pretty gangster.
Yeah.
And then he becomes Mega Man, and he loses his other hand, and he starts to charge up like a laser.
It's called the Super Dodon Ray.
Super Dodon Ray.
And Tien finally is like, "Let's go."
Yeah,
and
he's like,
doesn't
fine.
even block it and just stands there.
Yeah.
And then he yells at it, and he's fine.
Yeah, and then it does nothing.
And then he just like runs up Tien and just punches him in the stomach.
He hits him
runs up to
with
the towel.
Yeah.
One shots him.
Yep, and then he throws him to Shen, I think, and they both leave.
Yeah,
Shen leaves.
We're finally done with them, I think.
And Tao's gone. I thought he was going to be more of a challenge, but it shows how far all these characters have come.
And I think that
except for Chiaotzu. Chiaotzu was wrecked by him.
Honestly, Yamcha too.
It does, and it also shows like how weak Chiaotzu is because Tien had no issue at all.
Yeah.
And he beat Chiaotzu. So then Goku and Anonymous step into the ring. Who wants to do this one?
Goku defeats Chi-Chi in match 2. Goku becomes engaged to Chi-Chi. Whoop a woman's ass, then you marry her, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's how it works.
That's how we do it.
Match 3 commences between Krillin and Piccolo.
Yep.
Chi-Chi's introduced.
It's a great episode.
It really is. And we stick with the general theme that she is like the same energy she's brought to this whole competition, which is pure anger that Goku
so
does
mad.
not know who the fuck she is.
I mean, I get that.
And it's which is funny because nobody recognizes Goku. She's the one person that recognizes Goku, and he doesn't. I got no idea who you are.
I would be mad too, I guess.
So
I mean, she doesn't have like the blade on her head. I get it.
Right.
It's a much less skimpy outfit from when she was like what?
Yeah.
13
12 or whatever.
Like,
Yeah.
Ox King, what are you doing?
Yeah.
We need to call CPS.
that was why.
What is on your computer?
Put some pants on your child. Yeah. But it's a great episode. She says that Goku like made a promise to her.
Well, they start fighting first, and like she just starts like.
Well, they
wailing.
Yeah, but they're like arguing before the fight even starts.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're like arguing, and
Sets up their entire.
It like sets it up. Yeah, basically like.
But I thought that during the fight.
They are doing it during the fight too.
Yeah. Well, no, that's when she was like, "You made a promise
could've
to
been.
marry me."
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah.
And Goku, yeah. No, it's you made a promise. You promised me that I would be your bride.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. And Goku, like, leans back and he's like, "Krillin,
what's up, bride?
What's a bride?" And Krillin has the best reaction. He's like, "A bride effectively means your life is over." And so Goku still doesn't really get it. And so Chi-Chi tells him that she'll tell Goku her name if he beats her in a fight.
Yeah.
And so Goku is like, "Okay, are you ready for my attack?" And then like uses like an air cannon, basically, an air punch, and knocks her out of the ring and knocks her out because he hit her so hard she hit her head against brick.
Yeah.
So she's down.
Yeah.
And then they win.
Yep. And we learn who she is.
And she's like, I'm the Ox King without Chi-Chi. Also, just to backtrack, no one in the gang knows who this person is either, except for Oolong. Oolong calls it like immediately, and he's very smug about it. But he doesn't let everyone know. But he's like, Bulma, you should know. Master Roshi, you should know.
Well, Master Roshi does say that she has a fighting style similar to the Turtle School, which makes sense because the Ox King was in the Turtle School.
Yep. I thought it was funny. He, at the end of the match, he's like, I'm sorry, like, I thought bride was something to eat.
Yeah, and they give like a flashback from like way back in the first saga. And when like Goku like figures out she's a girl. You know, when he does his thing, his crotch pat. And then he says are you going to think about me again? And so they like have that whole thing. And it's also important to note that that in the show, like in the manga, that's the only time they meet. Like they meet in the King Piccolo saga again, but it's filler, evidently. So like they haven't seen each other since the Emperor Pilaf saga.
Oh, okay.
So, I can kind of see why Goku wouldn't know who she was because it was so long ago.
That's fair.
And so much has happened. But he proposes.
Yeah, he says some pretty...
He says something about his heart.
Yeah, he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't know what that meant. He's like, oh, like, well, good thing my heart knows what it wants. And then she's like, let me suck your dick.
And then you learn that Ox King built them a house already and that she wants 8 or 9 kids.
Joke's on her.
This was like one of the funniest episodes in the whole series, I think.
Yeah,
like,
especially
honestly.
when we get to the Yamcha part too.
Yeah.
Because so they finally get off the stage. And they're all sitting in like the waiting area, and Chi-Chi's like takes over like full Karen mom.
Yeah.
She's like, some of you I know very well, and some of you I haven't even met yet. And then she like goes up to Yamcha, and she's like, Yamcha,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I know you're very fond of me, but I love Goku and Bulma. Freaks out.
Bulma's got like smoke coming out of her ears, and we get the flashback to when like Yamcha.
You see, my dear, the truth is I'm in love with you.
Yes, and he was doing that to get the Dragon Balls.
This is
somehow.
It was still when he was trying to get the Dragon Balls.
Yeah, he was trying to steal them, and Bulma's so mad. It was hysterical. So Chi-Chi leaves then. She's got to prepare the wedding. And Goku warns Krillin about his next opponent. Still doesn't tell him who he is for some reason.
Just, he's very powerful.
And Krillin and Junior start their match. And Krillin gets a hit and he fires some sort of new key attack.
Yeah, it's like a double-handed key attack that he can control.
Yeah.
He hits Junior in the back and gets a good one into the face, but obviously Junior can fly. And then Junior hits him to the ground. But Krillin has the floating space technique.
Yeah. So he doesn't hit the ground. He hovers.
Yeah.
Oh, hovering space technique.
Which is different than flying, I guess. But he gets back into
still
the ring.
move.
He gets back into the ring, and then Junior says he's going to power up. And that's where we leave off. The only thing I want to add is that, kind of like Mr. Popo, I don't really think of Chi-Chi as like a fighter, throughout the context of the show. But she's pretty damn strong. She got through the whole preliminary. So
most definitely.
Yeah, good. She's got good genes. Maybe they'll have a kid and it'll be super strong.
Yeah,
we'll see.
So imagine like a half Saiyan. But he's like the size of the Ox King. How amazing would that be?
That'd be pretty sweet. That would be pretty sweet. And that brings us to our last episode for this segment. Yeah, it's 138. It's called The Mysterious Hero. Piccolo defeats Krillin in match 3, and match 4 commences between Yamcha and Hero. So Junior and Krillin are both in the ring, and Junior offers Krillin the opportunity to step out, which was kind of nice, I guess, in a way. Like, it was cocky, but it was also
I feel like he's just doing it to be a dick, because we all know no one's going to do that.
Yeah. So he's like, Krillin says no. He's pretty confident, because he's holding his own so far.
Yeah. And that's when we see the rubber band arms go out, which is cool. We see that a couple of different times throughout. Yeah. But yeah, he grabs Krillin and
stretches it. It's like Stretch Armstrong.
Yeah, and tosses him against a wall, or punches him and into a wall.
He like propels him towards him and then hits him when he gets real close.
And then Krillin does rebound. Like, Krillin does well in this fight. Like, I don't think anyone can say that Krillin does a bad job. So he bounces off the wall, goes back for an attack. Piccolo hits him, or kicks him up in the air. And Krillin realizes he's got one shot, one opportunity. And charges up a Kamehameha. And I thought he got him. I thought he got Piccolo. Piccolo comes up and you think that he gets him. And Piccolo just barely gets out of the way.
Yeah.
And just fucks him up and spikes him.
Yep.
Like 50 feet.
Yeah. Yeah, he gets hit pretty hard.
Yeah. And then, like you said earlier, with the details and stuff, he cracks one specific tile. One tile.
One tile in the arena.
Yep. Yeah, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
He gets back up.
Yeah, he could have continued on.
Yeah.
But he shows the maturity that Yamcha didn't have before. When he's not so prideful that he knows when to step out.
And I think it shows a lot of growth coming from these fighters. The 3 years wasn't wasted.
Yeah. And I thought that was a good move for Krillin to do that. Otherwise, we would have just saw him get wrecked.
And he gets the props from everybody.
Yeah, everyone's like, you did great. Everyone's cheers for him.
It's like, yeah.
Because he did, I love Krillin as a character. He's great.
Krillin's great.
His like whole arc, like where he starts out as sort of an asshole, cheating in games to get food from Goku, and it just evolves into this character that's just grateful to like be alive and knows like he's confident, but he knows when it's time to step out.
He knows he's not the strongest,
right?
And that's fair.
And he seems like okay with that, at least for now.
And then again, just touching back on it again, we're seeing more and more flashbacks, just letting you know we're slowly wrapping things up here.
Yep.
And I mean, we don't really have to touch too much more on Krillin, I don't think. We see the tile get replaced, which is always nice to see.
Yeah, well, the only other thing is that in Junior in his head is like, I'll let you live for now.
Oh yeah.
Until you get in my way when I dominate the world.
He also said that Krillin was way stronger than he expected.
Mm-hmm.
So he's conquering the world maybe
difficult.
Difficult.
We'll see how that world domination goes for Piccolo, for Junior.
Yeah.
And then we get our Yamcha versus Hero fight, which I really enjoyed, and I have no idea what to expect. I still don't really, because I don't remember what happens. But he's just so funny. He's so slapstick.
Yeah, it's so slapstick.
It's just awesome.
Like he accidentally trips and donkey or horse kicks Yamcha in the kidney.
Yeah.
And then Yamcha goes in for a flying kick and he ducks and Yamcha nails his own ball.
Yeah. He gets hit in the dick.
And after that one, they show everyone is dying in the audience, crying laughter. Bulma says something about how he's never going to recover.
This is when you can really see that Toriyama just hates Yamcha.
Yeah,
so much.
And which I did suspect. I think I read that once. That he hated him.
And so we start to see it, and Roshi is started nobody is that clumsy. Everything, nothing happens by accident.
And Goku thinks something's up too.
Yeah, Goku's real serious, and
And then Hiro starts offering Yamcha some advice on like how to fight better, and Yamcha's getting so mad.
Yeah, and so then all of a sudden you see Hiro go, like, want to see something?
Yeah,
And he like super speed and like
yeah, like
just bops Yamcha right in the face.
the mask comes off, and he's like, "What is happening?"
Yeah, and then he says something like, "You were paying so much attention to my big movements, you didn't realize that there was a skilled fighter underneath." And
Yeah.
he pushes his glasses up,
And Yamcha uses his Wolfang Fist,
and nothing
Which
gets done.
we know has a
99% kill rate.
it bats 1,000.
Yeah.
And then that's where we leave off, and I don't remember what happens, and I'm excited to see it.
Tune in next 2 weeks to find out.
Yeah.
I'm not spoiling anything.
Yeah, cool. Well, I appreciate that. So that's pretty much where we're at now. So we are going to finish Dragon Ball. The next episode, our next segment is going to be the whole rest,
End of an era, kids.
which is 10 episodes. So we will. I'm excited. I'm excited to wrap it up, and I'm excited to get into Z also.
Yeah.
Because that's like, I think
That's where the show really gets its life.
for all of us, that's where the real nostalgia is,
Mhm.
is in Z.
Yeah,
So
most definitely. Although Dragon Ball has a very special place in my heart.
yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, and I've
Most
loved
definitely.
the story.
Yeah, this has been...
Like since we never got that context
Right.
of like all the important shit. We just started with like Gohan getting kidnapped by
Yeah.
someone. We didn't know who Piccolo was.
Yeah.
We didn't know his relevance.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about the Red Ribbon Army or Dr. Gero
Right.
or anything like that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like being able to like go back and like watch it from the like original like series just like adds just so much to the overall flavor of the show.
Most
Yeah.
definitely.
And I think we kind of got, like, as an audience in the West, we kind of got shafted a little bit because when you watch Dragon Ball, like, it's not the same when you know what's going to happen later. Like, when you meet Piccolo and you know that he's going to become a good guy, it kind of takes something away from it. And same with Tien, like, in all of these, we know where this goes, and it kind of kills the momentum a little bit.
That's fair.
But I have very much enjoyed the ride.
I do want to say, I want to save some of our nostalgia for our last episode.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
this is shaping up to probably be my favorite arc, I think, of the show so far. I mean, usually at the end we kind of rank them. And if this momentum continues, then I think this will maybe be my favorite.
yeah.
So
Stay tuned to find out.
Yeah, tune in to the next one, guys. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thanks for listening.